Welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast, your number one opinion source for all things entertainment. Join host Marco Mazzola as he sounds off on the latest movies, TV, music, gaming, comic books, and more. Now, here's the man of the hour, Marco Mazzola.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to the Entertainment Rants Podcast. I am, as always, your host, Marco Mazzola, and we are working on talking about, or shitting on, if I should say, Superman episode 4, or Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. I can't even get it out. This movie was so bad, I couldn't get the title out. So let's go around the room and say hello to our ranters. Let's start with hello, Larry.
Hey.
And Bruno.
Hey.
And Mila.
Yo.
Yeah. Superman 4, gang. The Quest for Peace.
One of the best movies ever made.
The Quest for a better movie.
Nuclear Man!
Yeah.
My God. Like,
Catchphrase! Catchphrase! It's basically who he was.
Weird
my
roaring
God.
going all the time.
You know, the guy that played that was an ex-Chippendales dancer.
I would buy that.
Yeah.
With the feathered hair and all that, I would absolutely
Well, I mean, the feathered hair was just the 80s, right?
Right, but was he rocking it.
Yeah, he was pretty, he was jacked.
his name was Mark Pillow.
It sure was.
Yeah.
That was his stage name. I wonder what his real name was.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I looked up the IMDb and I was like, wait.
Because IMDb is
what?
literally like his headshot, he has not wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, wow.
Yeah, he actually,
I see.
who's the,
Shirtless dude.
I always forget his name, the guy that played RoboCop. What's his name?
Peter Wellers.
Peter Wellers. He actually looks like a young Peter Wellers. There was certain, like, when I was looking, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. He kind of sort of looks like a young.
Hair, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, all right.
I mean, they opened the same weekend. RoboCop 2 came out the same weekend, or maybe the weekend after. No, sorry, the weekend before Superman came out.
Really?
Superman 4, yeah. And
Not
it
having
fucking
a bit of
destroyed
trivia.
Superman 4.
Yeah, no doubt.
I wonder why.
I was going to say, what makes you think that?
Yeah, no doubt.
why
The
would
remake
that
of
be?
Snow White came out the same weekend as Superman 4 and destroyed Superman 4.
Yeah, Superman
That's
4
how
destroyed
bad-
Superman 4. Let's
That's
just
how
face
bad it was.
Yeah.
The remake
Let's
of
face it.
Snow
Superman
White.
3 destroyed Superman 4.
Superman 3.
Superman 3 was basically just
Richard Pryor.
That was a Richard Pryor.
So Richard
comedy.
Pryor.
Yeah. That was just a showcase for Richard
Pretty
Pryor.
much.
Yeah,
But let's not shit on.
he only got on Superman 3 because he was on, was it Johnny Carson? Was
Yeah.
it Johnny Carson? Or was it, it might have been the Johnny Carson show.
Could be.
And then he mentioned wanted to see Superman 2 come out. And then they're like, oh, let's get him on here. He'll
Sure.
promote the fuck out of this.
And I know we're shitting on Superman 4 today, but real quick on Superman 3, a lot of people shit on that movie. The one thing I did like about that movie, it didn't have Lex Luthor in it. Like it's like it's one of again we've said
It's
this
the whole
before,
thing with
like
Joker and Batman.
You know why?
Same
For me,
fucking villain
yeah.
every, but
Do you
again,
know why?
back to Superman 4,
It only-
right back to Gene Hackman.
It only did not have Gene Hackman in it because the him and the new directors did not get along.
Yes, I remember that.
Same thing. That's why they had a new love interest, Superman 3. Same
Yep.
thing.
That's right.
She left as well. Margot Kidder.
Margot Kidder,
Yes.
yeah.
Although
That's
the
right.
one thing I liked about the third movie was the fact that I actually liked Lana Lane a lot more than I liked Lois.
Yes,
Because
I gotta agree
I was
on
like,
that, too.
Lois is like, for me, Lois is insufferable
She is very
all the time. And it's like she's shitting on Clark all the time.
Yes.
And then it's like the second, like every once in a while, the second he reveals he's Superman, instantly
We'll talk
like
about
that.
that.
She's
If
like,
it happens again in
whoever gives a
Superman 4,
shit about Clark.
that's the Superman
you know?
effect. That's the
and I'm
Superman
like,
effect.
every
dude.
like almost every movie now. He's like, I gotta
Yeah.
tell you I'm Lois, and then
Yeah.
give me the super kiss,
And then
you
she
forget
immediately,
again.
the love doe eyes,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Superman. I'm like, what the hell just happened to you?
yeah,
It was
she's
like
sweet.
Wait a
light
minute.
just went
Wait
off.
a minute. Are you suggesting that just by wearing glasses you can't fool somebody into thinking you're someone else?
Right?
Coming
That's
in on
not a
Monday with
thing?
glasses on to see if you know it's me.
Is that not a thing? Damn it.
Come with glasses on, you won't know it's me.
Lana was
Who's
like,
this guy sitting in the
oh,
office?
I like Clark.
Who's this guy teaching?
Who's this guy?
Why are you wearing Shihan's belt?
Who are you?
How dare you?
No, when you come in here with like a shirt that says like some reference to like Star Wars instead of like a Focus
Premier
shirt, I'm
martial
like, whoa, yeah, you wear a Premier martial arts
Shade.
shirt. I go, what is this? Who are you?
Shade.
Wow.
It was awesome. We'll tell you about that after. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's get into it. Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. All right, we came out in 87.
87, yep.
Thank God,
Yes.
only an hour and a half. An hour and a half of my life I won't get back.
That was awesome.
I was very pleased to see the like when I started the movie. I was like, all right, so how long is this? And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank God it's not the 2 hours.
So, do you guys remember a while ago we were talking about how long a movie's, and I said roughly 90 minutes? You guys were like, no, way too much longer than that.
I was actually
In the
thinking about
80s,
that.
There were 90-ish.
I have,
Yeah.
I've
It was
noticed
starting
that.
to go down.
I think it was
45.
87. They cut it down to 87 minutes from like an hour. Would have been an hour. It would have been like they cut out 45 minutes, so it would have been over 200 minutes.
Yeah.
Damn.
Thank God it wasn't, because at the 25-minute mark, I had to pause because I had to leave the house, and I realized it said 25 minutes. I went, oh, cool, I only have like 60 minutes left.
Thank God, it's
Awesome.
torture.
Sorry, I meant
That was
2
absolute
hours, not
torture.
2.
The amount of
Yeah.
times
So we
I've
get-
been okay to just pause and then leave,
So we
do
get
something
the
else,
great
come back.
late Christopher Reeve back again.
Yep.
Who to me is
Yes.
still one of the best Superman. I'm sorry.
Oh
I
my
love
God!
Henry
like
Cavill.
Oh yeah,
He was really good.
I love his
Henry Cavill,
Superman.
but-
Well, he's also
love
the
his
classic. I mean, he's the
He's the benchmark.
He's truth,
1978
justice, and the
Superman
American
1
way.
movie
Yeah.
started the superhero genre.
Yeah, he was
Right?
Yes,
the benchmark.
absolutely.
But let's talk about that, because compared to the first one, compared to this one, you know,
Straight money grab.
it was total straight money grab. And at this
It was
point,
more than that.
At this point, you know, the studio has banked on this movie.
No, it
but
was
they
sold. The 2 guys that did Superman
Yes.
1, 2, and 3
Did not
realized
do this one. Yeah, the
realized that
Salkinds
it was
did not go anywhere near this.
declining, and
Yeah.
they sold it
Yeah, they
to
got
the
rid of it.
Cannon Group,
Yes.
who bought it for $5 million.
Yes, and let's just chat really quickly. The guys who did this movie,
They were the guys that did like all the Van Damme movies, Chuck Norris, all these
they worked.
terrible,
They
terrible like.
Oh, wow.
Well, yeah, I remember seeing those
straight to video
labels.
cassette.
Yeah, I remember reading that like Christopher
It
Reeve
was
did
the
not get along with the
Globus, or whatever it was,
directors.
like the
They were
Globus,
constantly
whatever the hell their
arguing.
names are.
Yes,
Same guys who did the He-Man movie.
that's right.
Universe.
No
That's right.
way.
I watched because I watched them both this weekend. So I'm like, oh my god, it's the same guys. No wonder why both movies suck ass.
It was absolutely terrible. They made everything on a shoestring budget,
Yeah.
like flew for a few
and you can
$100,000.
see it. Like if you watch the animation of Superman flying from the first one to the fourth one, which you would think would be way better, it's way fucking
Worse.
Oh
worse.
my
Well,
god, it's
That
so
first
much
one
worse.
made me believe
I was-
a man can fly. The fourth one's like made me believe these fucking people don't know how to anything
Yeah.
about animation.
I was
two guys-
watching it. I was like, no way, they just did like.
Oh, it was
that?
bad.
I was like,
The 2 guys that ran Cannon were literally like shysters. Like they were investigated for fraud. They made like 27 movies a year for like the first 5
Yeah,
years.
they were
Wasn't there a documentary about them?
I don't know if there's a
Probably,
documentary,
yeah,
but
probably.
they eventually, a year after Superman 4 came out, they went under. And
that was one. Of the,
Well-
that was like part of the beginning of the
This
end.
was
That
the-
was like that. Was
I mean,
like one of
this
the
was
final
what they were
nails.
hanging.
That
They
was
were
one of
hanging
the
their
final
hat on
nail
this.
in the coffin. It
They
was
were hanging their hat
Superman
on this to make money, and it didn't work out.
4. No, because it sucked.
And it was terrible. Yeah.
The story was bad. The
Well,
acting was
everything was-
atrocious.
You know, the story was essentially written mostly. It was written by the 2 normal writers, but it was essentially approved and guided by Christopher Reeve. So it's the only reason they
Yep.
got him back.
Yeah.
They said, "We'll give you director's credits, and we'll let you approve the story."
So that's why he made it a giant fucking PSA?
Yeah,
Yes,
pretty
yeah.
much.
Yeah.
He's the one that wanted to be about like peace and
Yeah.
the nuclear
Yeah, the arms
proliferation.
raising.
The
Yeah,
arms
I mean,
raising.
it was basically a live-action Captain Planet movie.
It was.
yeah,
That's right.
Oh yeah, oh 100%.
That's, I mean, that's what.
And it's
that's
his
the
fault.
And I gotta
feeling
say-
I
It's
got.
his
gotta
fault
say-
that it was like that.
I gotta say, one of my favorite things was the fact that they were like, "How do we stop the nuclear arms race?" And he just goes to the whole world and goes,
throw them away.
Give me all your missiles, I'll throw them away." And everyone goes, "Oh my god, why didn't I
sounds
think
great.
of that?"
Yeah, that sounds easy.
Oh my god! And all the world
Hit the goddamn
leaders
easy
give
button.
them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I'm
that
like,
was easy.
I'm
As if
like,
that would ever
and
work.
that was in the first like 20 minutes. I'm like, what the hell are they going to do with the rest of the movie?
Well, I mean, you know,
Well,
Nuclear Man.
coming.
Well, yeah, and then they were like, what are we going to do the rest of the movie? And they're like, oh, Nuclear Man.
Well, they also cut out
15-minute
45 minutes.
Thank God, because there was like a 15-minute fight scene on the moon where there was no sound. It was just the music, like
Yeah.
no dialogue, no nothing. I don't. I just
Hey, you
didn't like
And it was like a-
What about when he pounded him into the ground? Wasn't that
I
amazing?
know I
my
know
God.
we want this podcast to
Literally?
go for an hour at least, but do we have to go to the fact that these guys are fighting in space?
That was another part of one
Yep,
of my notes.
I mean, they cut the budget from 37 million to 17 million 1 month before they started filming.
Oh my god!
So they used one flying,
Well, we can't
one
use
flying
that.
graphic,
And Lord,
they
did
used
they
that
use
in
the
all of them.
shit.
It was the
we
same
have
one.
to make him fly. Does he have
Does
to
he
fly?
have to fly?
So,
What if we
you know
just
how you were
have him
saying how it
grounded
looked
for
much
It's
worse?
Superman.
He can
Right?
walk, maybe use that.
They did not. They developed new technology to make him fly in Superman 1. They did not use that technology in Superman 4. And they were like, we got to save money. That's too expensive. We're going to use. They had like 6 months to do the special effects, and they cut it down to 1 month. So they were like,
And
we're
it
going to
shows.
use this. We're going to use
Every
this one.
effing frame shows it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It
The
was-
green screens were horrible.
It was bad.
It literally
Story was
looked like they
terrible.
went frame by frame and kept moving him or something.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was kind of like,
It was essentially-
and we'll get to it later when we talk about Jaws 3. When you watch Jaws 3 in the theaters, and we will talk about this, the 3D was bad enough. When you watch
Really
it without 3D,
Oh, it's terrible.
that's basically what it looked like. It's like black outline around it. You know what I mean? Just
Oh,
like,
yeah.
This was the part we had 3D. Remember that?
You can see the background being like
It
blurry
was
and
really
the
bad.
item
Yeah,
is like
you're like,
sharp.
That's basically
Whoa,
what this
these
looked like when he
effects.
was flying, you know?
It was terrible.
And once again, we have a flying scene with him and Lois.
I mean, that's such canon.
Yeah, that was
we have to do it every
an
time?
easy cash grab. I was
that's
like,
tropish.
they were like,
Yeah.
they were like,
nonsense.
let's just fill in this 5 minutes with another Lois flying scene because that one really hit it off the first time.
But you
Let's
know
do
what?
it
You know what
again.
was just ridiculous. So
He
the
throws
first,
her. He throws her.
Yeah.
Here you go, bitch.
And
He
she's like,
throws her.
"What?"
How was it first flying on your own? Scary. I shat myself. Don't ever do that
It was
again.
bad. I was gonna die.
What's wrong with you? Don't ever do that again. You have the power, not me. Don't throw me in the midair.
do not do that.
At least tell me first.
You
Damn.
know how in the TV
Yeah,
show,
warn me next time. Will you, asshole?
you know in the TV show when the bad guy would fire a bunch of bullets and he'd stand there and then he'd throw the gun and
Yeah,
he would
he
duck.
moves.
Yeah, so it was
That was
like
my
that.
favorite.
It was
Yeah.
like that in this whole movie.
Yeah.
He'd be like moving. The guy'd be like, nuclear man was going to drop a rock on his head. Like, big fucking deal. It's just a goddamn rock. I've been shot by.
Well, he's throwing it with
Guns.
superpower.
missiles?
I'm sorry, but Superman's supposed to be.
He's a fucking alien.
Yeah,
No, it's
he's
not
got impenetrable skin. Why did Nuclear Man's nails cut him?
Let's
Nuclear
talk
power.
about. Oh yeah, there's
But
also the hair thing,
But they
right?
explain that. Like, what's his name?
was terrible. It
Lex
was terrible.
explains that.
It was terrible.
When
Yeah,
he's talking to the three
explains
guys,
is a strong word.
No, he does. He explains the fact that he'll be able to actually be able to pierce his
Yeah,
skin.
and how did Lex Luthor ever cut the string? His
That's
hair?
how it. No,
Yeah.
he didn't do it. He didn't do it. Ducky did it.
Yeah,
with
Ducky.
A pair,
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
a pair
It's
like,
with
you
a
know,
fucking
his hair.
bolt cutters.
He's
Yeah,
got
bolt
his
colors.
like hair.
Stop looking at
follicle.
my notes, all of you.
We're still. Larry hasn't had to say a word here. We got all his notes covered.
How much?
in
How much
12
weight
minutes.
was it holding?
This might be a short
1,000
episode.
pounds.
1,000 pounds, yeah.
And then like, look at how
Snip.
impenetrable just a single hair follicle is. Snip.
Yeah, oh,
It
just
can hold
bolt
weight.
cutters, no problem.
It can hold weight, but it can be cut
like
easily at the right
subpar
angle.
bolt
Yeah.
cutters too. Like,
And then
like-
Yeah, just the right angle. It can cut easily.
And then when he threw the Statue of Liberty, I was like, what? And I'm saying the animation was so bad.
so
Oh my
bad.
That was
God.
extra bad.
It was
Extra bad.
so-
But
it was
let's go back to
awful.
the hair because he cuts the hair and he picks it up. It's still straight. Like it's a piece of
Well,
crystal.
yeah.
It doesn't it's not like this flowing, bending hair.
Well, because you
After
need
he
to
cuts
realize that it was
folds
hair.
up,
Well, it's the
straight
hair.
as a
Oh,
board.
it's been holding 1,000 pounds for a while.
Sure,
so.
it's now
Maybe
gained
it's a
straight.
bit-
Yeah, sure. It's
Yeah.
exactly what
It's been
happened.
straightened.
Yeah, it's got a lot of.
and we
gel
don't
in
know
it.
how long it's been holding that.
In the
thousand
Superman Museum.
Well, yeah, come on. The Flash has a museum.
Superman
it's Superman
graciously
4. I mean, you
donated
got a
a
museum by
single
then.
follicle of
The
his
Flash
hair.
has a museum.
You
There's
gotta
a
have
Flash
some-
museum.
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm not surprised Superman has a museum.
there was-
He's kind of a big deal.
For me, there was
He's kind of a
two
big deal.
qualities. There
Lots
was
of
two good
leather-bound
qualities.
Books, smell mahogany.
In this movie, there was two good qualities about it. One,
It was over.
Yeah.
well, no,
Yeah,
no,
that's what I was about to
yeah,
say.
yeah. Now
It eventually ended.
One,
Well,
the John
one-
Williams music they keep using.
Yep.
Put the notes away so we can stop looking at him, Larry.
the very first thing I have on my notes is John Williams
It's your own damn
soundtrack.
fault.
Dude, that's it. Literally, John Williams.
That-
I love
But
him,
it's
and that's
Christopher
the only
Reeves, I
thing.
like Christopher
John
Yeah,
Williams,
that's
like
it.
his original Superman score, and the rest is somebody else. Like he didn't score the whole movie.
Yeah.
No, well, I
Somebody else
know. Well,
does the
it,
rest
I mean,
of
it
it. They
appeals
just
like
use
well,
his
Yeah, he's-
theme music.
well, it says right at the beginning, music by John Williams.
But then it goes on to that. There's another one. Like
Sure.
There's another
I don't care.
composed
John Williams-
and
John Williams is in it.
adjusted and
I don't care.
altered
That's all I
and
like.
fucked
Yeah, that's
around.
it. That's
That's
it.
it.
Yeah, same.
After that, I
I'm
was
like,
like, I
John
don't give a
Williams
shit
is
what
all I
else.
need.
No, but that's the point.
it.
Is like it's not him throughout the whole
I
movie.
know.
It's not his music. So again, going back to Bruno's budget thing, we're not going to pay for John Williams. That
'Cause
guy's
he's really
that guy's a
expensive.
big deal. A lot of leather-bound books in that guy's shelf.
Oh, yeah.
He's too
Absolutely,
big.
yeah.
We're
They should
paying
make a
for
John
him.
Williams
We have the
museum,
rights
though.
to his music for the theme song, so let's just get some cheap ass guy to do the rest of the music.
Speaking of theme song, can I just tell you that the Superman theme song is my ringtone? Ready? That's my ringtone on my phone.
Great, we're gonna get kicked off now.
Great. Is that trademark?
Copyright. No.
Shut it off.
3 seconds. You're good for 3 seconds.
one of my biggest gripes about this, not one of my biggest, because the whole movie just sucked.
I was going to say,
One
one of the many.
Yeah, I was about to say.
So Lex Luthor was in this chain gang type jail, not like a super prison, but in like a whatever. Ducky from the pickup artist comes and picks him up, literally.
Yeah.
He breaks out of jail. First of all, no one's noticed that Lex Luthor isn't in jail. Ever? Like, nobody knows this? He's like a master criminal.
For plot reasons, no.
That is a huge fucking hole.
That might have been in the 45 minutes that they cut.
Wait a minute.
That is a huge hole.
That's the hole. That's the one hole you're talking about.
That's one of.
Although the thing is, it's like it's not like he's
there were 45 minutes cut.
Although the thing is, it's also like it's not like he's some like underground criminal. It's like at this point though. A lot of people have seen his face in prison. Like, oh, look, that guy's been a big deal now.
Well, right? That guy's not here. Where did he go? Where did he go? That guy's not here.
Home. He went home.
He's just,
once again, we're not checking the home.
Where's Lex? Oh, he's around somewhere.
I think
he went that way.
I'm sure he's scheming somewhere.
Like you said in Obi-Wan, they're not checking the house. Once again, now we're on Earth now. The dumbass cops in the troubles are not checking his house.
No, those cops are all idiots.
Check his house.
Morons.
They're like, where did he go? Where could he have possibly gone?
How did that flashy Cadillac car pull into where the jail was, where they was slamming the rocks?
They're in a quarry somewhere.
Right, they're in a quarry.
They're in like a work.
And how was only two guys that are like, oh, that's a cool car. Let me get into the car.
Like all these crooks, all these convicts, two cops watching them.
Two cops.
That's it.
Oh my God!
Like 30 of them out there, two cops watching.
That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
That's all the manpower they had.
And the cops get into the car.
Both of them at the same time.
Both of them at the same time. But it gets even better because how do you trick two cops? You shut the doors. Get out of here, and you roll up the windows, and they couldn't get out and drop the seats. And then you close the soft top, and they definitely can't go out. And then you drive like a remote fucking control off the side of the cliff. What?
Okay, no, wait a minute. It gets. Come on. Wait a minute. No, you're not done.
Super
Tell
easy
me that's
to do.
not the rest of your note on that one. Tell me the rest of the note. Don't you see those two cops later?
Later on,
like they're climbing out.
Oh, yeah, they're climbing out.
Did you notice behind there was like fire and smoke coming up from the car?
Yeah.
Nah, you just have to understand they're built different.
They survived.
They got out of the car.
Exploding car.
They got out of the car before it exploded.
In midair?
Yep.
The car was locked. They could have done that before it jumped off.
They
cut the top, Marco. Everyone knows how they got out.
In mid-explosion.
They could have gotten out of the car before the windows went up.
No, don't worry. So there might have been like, the air.
We escaped somehow. Let's go.
When it hit the ground, they get ejected out, and then it exploded. Is that what you're trying to say?
You know when you jump in an elevator when it's falling or something, and you like live? Yeah,
that whole 10 minutes.
Nobody dies.
But you're seatbelted in.
Nobody dies.
And you can't jump.
That whole 10 minutes of them
you think this
in the
is the
car.
DC and Marvel universe and nobody dies.
And it was like, I don't understand how the door shuts and you couldn't get out of your car or the car. And there was just that scene. I was like, you got to be shitting me. And I think I paused it like right after that because I had to leave.
I'd have to pause it because usually I
had to leave. That's why I was like, thank God.
I remember that scene vividly. Like, here we go. These two idiots getting locked in the car. Ducky's gonna launch them. I love this.
I'm watching this. I'm like, oh my God, it worked.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you've got. And then we go back to Clark. I was going to say Clark Griswold. You go back to Clark Kent. Obviously can't get on a fucking train on time.
No.
The train goes. The conductor decides he's going to have a heart attack
on the middle train.
How inconsiderate of him! What an asshole!
He was just like, "Let's do this now."
But he was just like,
you know what? I tried to book it in the morning before I left the house, but I couldn't get to it.
We couldn't reschedule, so now's the only time available.
I don't want to
lean forward on the accelerator.
I know where you're going, Larry. Though I know exactly where you're going.
It was like that's how they did it.
Ready?
Keels over.
He keels over. The train goes crazy. And she's like, help! And of course, Superman can hear it.
He's super hearing.
I get that.
Although they didn't really acknowledge that until this movie.
Like
he's used to it.
Has he? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought he was just like, man, Lois is so annoyingly loud.
She's so loud.
She's probably like so needy.
She's like, help! And you're like, there she goes again.
Bitch is always getting in trouble.
Oh, damn it.
Damn, bitch,
he's like, just give me 10 minutes.
Really? There are 10 minutes of you not getting in trouble.
Gets into a phone booth, changes, nobody sees that, which happens.
So a
further
phone
on
booth
down.
is this big box where people used to have a phone and you have to go. Sorry, Mel.
What's that?
Yeah, right.
I've never heard of a phone booth before.
phone booth.
He gets on the tracks. And did he force push the fucking train? Is he
No.
now a Jedi?
No, he didn't force
No,
push
that's
it.
later in the movie when he builds the Great Wall of China
He trains,
again.
yeah.
Yeah. No, he used the Force to rebuild the Great Wall. It's a new
That's
power.
what that's what I said.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best
Yeah,
part.
he
of
used-
Super
he
Bad.
just
No,
used
but on the
Force
train
to
though, he
fix it
stands
again.
on the third rail and he
That's
sucks
right.
up all the energy and he puts his hand out like he's force pushing
Oh
the
my gosh.
fucking train, and the train stopped.
No, I think he
No,
was
he
just...
slid. Didn't he slide back? I thought I just remember him sliding.
No. He literally
No.
just like takes up the energy or something and just goes like this.
So it's the
and it
energy that stopped the
stops.
train.
Yeah.
He
So
redirected the energy
He
back
took up
in.
all the
He had-
energy
he had
because
the
that's
electricity in
one
him.
of his
Not
abilities.
the train.
And he force pushed the train.
Because everybody
Awesome.
knows you can use electricity to force something somewhere else.
I'm an electrician. That
Hey,
doesn't
the Emperor
happen.
did it
You're
many
like,
times.
damn, can't magnets do something or something? And they go, yes, we can use this. It'll make sort of sense. And then
Yeah.
everyone's
And then
like,
that's when we
no, it
find
doesn't.
out-
Trying to make sense of any of it, to be honest with you.
And
I
that's
mean,
when we
you're
find
talking
out.
about superpowers and magic. Like,
Yeah.
he rebuilt the China, the wall of China
I
with
can't
his
get over
mind.
that. I can't
That's
get
the
over
real
that part.
discussion,
It's
though.
awful.
The real discussion is that in all of these movies, he gains a new power. that
Yeah.
you've never
He suddenly
seen
Like a
gains-
million
suddenly
powers,
gains a
and
new
some of
power.
them you
New
just
power
don't
you've
see ever again.
Never again, and
Like
you've
in
never seen in the
what was
comics
it, like the
before.
second one where he can like multiply himself or something,
Yeah.
have like shadow
Yeah.
clones or
Yeah,
whatever.
He clones himself across the whole place. He's
Yeah.
got the plastic
plastic
thing that comes
visor
with the
that he
shield
traps
comes off his
people.
Yeah, that was really
That
weird.
was actually pretty cool, though. I mean, that wasn't a
That's
bad.
pretty
That was
cool. We've
that
never
was
seen
pretty
that
cool.
before.
That was cool.
Well,
When
regardless
he
of the
first
plastic-
did that,
The weird
when I was
symbol
watching
thing
it as a
was
kid,
hot.
I was like, what the fuck did he just do?
Even
with
I
this?
said that. It's a cloth. Thing
Right.
that got sewn on. It was all of a sudden now it's this like magical plastic
Yeah,
shield.
for
that
me,
comes
I
off.
was like,
It was
"What
weird.
the hell is he doing?"
And like the person he like imprisoned in it was like, oh my god, I can't get out of
and then it
this
just
thing.
disappears.
Yeah,
and you're like,
Just magically
"Damn, where did he
vanishes,
go? Limbo?
dissolves.
What
it
happened?"
reminded me of those commercials where they're trying to make something that's not hard. They're like, do you have trouble putting a shirt on? And like, there's a guy like who can't somehow seem to get
ripping
his
his
hands
shirt
through the
in
shirt. And they're like, do you always have trouble drinking water? And someone's like spilling water down their shoulder.
Do you
And
ever have trouble
Yeah.
making eggs and they just take the pen and throw it across the room?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
you're
yeah.
like,
Well, who
That's
does
what it
that?
felt like to me. Where like he threw the thing, and the guy's like, "I can't get out from behind this."
Yeah, but it was
Superman
like,
symbol.
this blanket.
which was just made out of
It's
one of
terrible.
those like breath dissolve.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah.
Listerine
See? All he
strips.
did
or
was
something.
breathe. There you go.
Exactly what it was made out of.
All they did was breathe on it.
That's it. That's it. It was only ice anyway, so it just dissolved. I know we're going off on a different bad Superman.
Superman. I mean, all of these things are bad.
I was just gonna say, it's like
The first one was magic, and then still it went downhill.
They did an amazing job with one, and then they just forgot about it.
You know what though? But I wonder if they did an amazing job.
I kind of liked two though.
No,
because
there's a
for
whole
the time-
documentary on
Too.
one, and they were saying how they wanted to really maintain the concept, the powers, the persona, and they did. And I think that's one of the reasons it was so big.
Because they recorded them like
For the most part,
back,
two was pretty. Yeah, that's right. They did. You're right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like
Then
I enjoyed
three
two.
started to go off the rails, and four
Yeah.
was just a shit show.
As we're shitting on it,
And
literally.
that's why we're here.
That's why we're here today.
And here we are.
Because it was such a shit
the
show.
whole Clark versus Superman on a double date going back and forth, and I'm like, wait, what the fuck is going on here?
So that's the other part of this movie. Like this, like a lot of
Yeah,
movies, there's a lot of shit going on in a movie
That
that,
doesn't
has
need
enough
to.
trouble.
Like,
Like,
have-
just
Yeah.
like selling the Daily Planet.
It felt almost like you could have just made this
Warfield
into
and
like
well,
filler
it's-
episodes,
yeah, because
but
you
in a
shoved
movie,
Mariel
and it was all in the same
Yeah.
story.
It was a way to
Exactly.
shove Mariel Hemingway in and her, you know what I mean, her thing.
Yeah.
But- because
she's
of course
like
the-
another love interest, like to compete. So that was absolutely
Yeah, because a
ridiculous.
super
Another
powerful
one.
hot woman is going to go after the dorky guy behind the desk that sells newspapers. Let's be realistic. That's
Right.
that's
Yeah.
that.
No
Never
dice,
happened.
pal.
Never has that
No way.
happened.
Like,
I mean, I don't
She
know. I mean, there are a lot
he's
of
easy on the eyes.
you
Is that what we go with?
you see a lot of people who don't seem perfectly matched.
You do see that sometimes.
and you're like,
I-
what's going
Holy
on
God,
there?
They don't
you put those
match.
two creatures together.
Yeah, how did that pairing happen? Right?
Listen,
Like,
I say it all the time when I see couples. I look at them and I go, they don't match.
They don't beat a
They
god.
don't match.
you don't know. Maybe they're just funny person. Maybe the guy is hilarious, or maybe
I find
he's
myself
packing
pretty
heat.
funny.
Who knows? Who knows? You
Well,
never
as
know.
long as somebody does that.
There's always a reason, man. There's always a reason.
There's always a reason. So we get we get a lot of like side B characters. Yeah. Oh, so you did watch the Boys. Sorry, good.
Stop talking about that.
I know we can't help it.
That's for another episode.
Oh, we're gonna talk about that. We got a lot of side B. We got William Hootkins Everybody knows William Hookins.
I mean, it was a big cast.
He's Harry Howler. He's one of the three guys that are like, he's the U.S. guy that wants to buy, wants Lex to stop the.
Oh yeah.
That's Porkins.
Nice.
It's also the guy from Indiana Jones. The end, who's like basically top men. Our top men have it. Our top men are dealing with it before they put the arc in the. Same actor, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Same guy. He was actually also in the '89 Batman movie. He plays what's his name? Gordon's second in command.
I know.
Yeah. Eckhart.
Yeah, the one that's actually on the take.
Yeah, that's the same guy.
Yeah,
same actor. So yeah, it's got a decent cast there going on there. Mark,
I wouldn't go that far and say decent.
I know, I'm just being facetious. I'm being facetious.
I mean, they brought back most of the classic people, right? Gene Hackman.
They need to.
Margot Kidder. Like you can't have a Superman without those people.
You need to. You did 2 movies with them on it.
I enjoyed Gene Hackman's version of Lex Luthor.
I love Gene Hackman. 3 out of 4 movies. Superman's
it's a bit much.
So many villains you could go from a Brainiac. I mean, there's so many villains you can go with. And you just all right, let's crank out another Lex Luthor.
When I started the second one, I was like, they're bringing back Lex Luthor
Go back to
again?
those times when
I was like,
sorry, Mila, go ahead. You finish up.
Oh no, I was just saying. I was like just the simple fact that even in the second movie they used Lex Luthor again. I was like. Oh, I thought he was going to be like, this is the big bad for the first movie, and then we have
he wasn't a big bad.
Like you said,
what it seemed like. Yeah.
Well,
secondary
like
bad,
big bad, secondary bad. He's the secondary bad in all the ones he's in.
Zod and his gang were the bad ones.
Yeah.
But you got to remember, Superman launched the superhero era, right? The whole genre, everything, and I don't know that people were ready for more wacky villains and even just superheroes.
That's really true. I think that's really where it is. You're absolutely right.
One of the things, they were going to do a Brainiac, and then the producers at one of the big houses were like, no, we can't pay too much lip service to the geeks who are in the comics. And they actively tried to get away from like being super fantastical.
Right.
Whereas now it's like
you have to.
Yeah,
right? You have to, or else you're going to get crucified for not following certain story arcs and lines.
In the 80s, everybody that had grown up on that stuff
it's the popular.
Yeah.
But again, they were trying to get to the more broad horizon.
Yeah,
right?
where those guys weren't
Lex
thinking
Luthor to everybody. You're like, oh, that's the bad guy from Superman. You say Brainiac, and they're like,
they don't know who that is.
What's that? A science show or something? Like Bill Nye the Science Guy with Brainiac. Like,
but here we are.
But they kind of proved that in the third one, right? You had a villain that nobody had ever heard of, which again is my problem. You don't have Gene Hackman for the reason we talked about. Yeah. So you bring in this other villain, and you have an opportunity to at least catch the comic book people who know other characters.
No, they brought him in. Richard Pryor, nothing to do with
he wasn't the villain.
No.
The other guy was the villain, technically.
The money guy.
Honestly, in the third movie, he felt like the main character.
So to me, it would have been better to make that movie with Brainiac, and even if Richard Pryor was somehow, now he becomes Brainiac or some fucking thing.
Yeah, but again, they were trying not to pay any lip service to the quote unquote geeks who are in the comics, who are into comics. So
then, what's the motivation?
Richard Pryor.
All this story behind all this
Superman
history.
is the titular hero.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah. But you bring in a villain that has nothing to do, has no history whatsoever, and it turns out
you can do anything. You can do anything you want with him.
That is one way you can invent something new. Where you don't necessarily have to.
You don't have to.
You don't have to like. Take something from that. You can try to invent your own antagonist.
I love that.
Mila is right on.
She's right. No, she's absolutely right.
They kind of failed there.
That's my point.
But still.
That's my point.
But you can still try other
things. But also,
it's just an instance it didn't work.
Or get any one of the other characters, any other villains correct. I would have rather you try to get some other known villain correct.
Yeah, but it's in the early to mid 80s. If they did pick one. It's early to mid 80s, and if they do a fucked up thing on the movie, guess what's not going to happen? They don't have to open up their computer and look at social media and get shit on for the next hour and a half.
So what was the point? Why not?
By 4 people doing a shitty
broadcast.
Yeah, so what's the point? So why not? Why not bring in another villain from Superman's
So here, I'll tell you exactly
Nobody's
why.
Gonna shit, other than like some of the fanzines and magazines.
Yeah,
I'll tell you exactly why. I think because it's super clear now. If you think about everybody that grew up in the 70s and 80s, right? all those people are now making shows, and they're producers. They're our age. They're the ones that make Stranger Things. They're the ones that made the whole Marvel, DCU. All of these guys are our age. They grew up on this shit. The people that were making stuff in the 80s were not. They didn't grow up on this shit. They were like business guys.
It was around
they were
for them,
making,
but they weren't necessarily.
Yeah, but the kids
fans.
were reading the comics.
But they weren't really fans.
Yeah, that's right. So everybody doing it now.
They weren't necessarily
all
fans.
of Hollywood now was fans in the 80s or 90s of all these comics. And it matters, right? Because we've become the people that make the content for the next generation.
We're the people who want to see what we know.
I mean, not that those early Superman movies, though, the reference was what? The TV show with George
Reeves.
Huh?
No.
George Reeves.
No, it was
TV show was George Reeves.
George Reeves. Okay, that's right. Oh, that's right. That was his last name. But that was the reference that they had. So if you go from that to the movie, oh my god, the movie was so much better.
Well, sure. I mean,
the early one was him just fighting like the early Superman was like
I don't remember
beating
the George Reeves ever having Lex Luthor in it.
No, but that's I was just gonna say that the early ones.
I think
it was just him beating up
Look
on.
it up. He might not have. It was one of those like they brought in like really weird like Mole Man and really weird shit.
Well, even before that, it was him beating up on like the bank robbers.
And don't forget, Lex Luthor.
It wasn't like weirdo villains like Brainiac. It was bank robbers.
Yeah, like.
It was more real.
Larry's
right. It was more real characters.
The early Superman, that's what it was. It was like him, you're trying to kidnap these people. I'm here to save them.
Because what would they do? They'd be like, pow, pow, pow with the gun. He'd be like, no, you can't hurt me.
Right.
Then he'd take the gun. He'd always bend it.
Yeah, like a pencil.
Yeah, and then he'd bring them in for justice.
So that's what they had, right? And then the comic book itself.
And the comics, he fought the Nazis.
I like when people get on it. I think when people get hit, he flies, and sometimes he goes through the wall. Like, motherfucker, the window's right there. Why you gotta bust through my wall like the goddamn Kool-Aid man? Oh, yeah. Like, use the window.
What about the hole in the wall?
Exactly.
Remember, kids?
What the hell? Oh, yeah. My father's not going to believe some big, giant shark.
What happened?
You're going to fix that wall. My dad's not going to believe that a giant talking bull walked through the wall.
That was a robot chicken.
No, that was Dane Cook.
Oh, that was
Dane Cook talking about
talking for our Kool-Aid came through here.
The Kool-Aid
so
man.
Beat my ass.
You're very top heavy.
Your legs are very tiny. You're very top heavy.
Very top heavy. Kick him in the legs.
So shitting on Superman 4 more.
Yes.
We need more shitting on it. This whole movie sucked.
It did.
Like, not for nothing.
Okay, so we talked about this before, too. Everything was so easily solved. Right? So the nuclear man, Superman once again does some bullshit of pushing the moon in front of the sun to cause an eclipse. We know what that means. But he pushes the moon. Okay, he's super strong. I'll say it again. He pushes the fucking moon in front of the sun.
Yeah. That's not going to cause
he did oceans, problems, tides,
damage
nothing.
to the whole sun.
Not to mention that the moon's rotation stabilizes our rotation. So, you start fucking with that.
So, again, we get to the whole Eternals problem with the celestial sticking out of the Earth that doesn't make the Earth wobble off its course.
All right, Superman 5 is, again, it's a 2-hour movie of the Earth just wobbling off its course.
I dare you get mud in your tire to see what happens to your tire. And that doesn't cause a problem? Okay, fine.
Things that piss me off.
Of the guy flying. But I'm not going to suspend disbelief that doesn't fuck up the whole Earth. Yeah. And you don't show me anything of shit going down.
Yeah, you got to do
some
That's
consistency.
one of the things that pisses me off the most is when you fuck with either time or space.
Yes.
Poorly.
I'm okay with fucking with any of that, but you got to do it the right way. Like, you got to follow the rules.
Poorly done.
Yeah.
Wait, you mean to tell me you can fight on the moon with no atmosphere?
No atmosphere. Floating in space.
No, you can fight on the moon.
Sure.
The moon has gravity.
I do it all the time.
Gravity
every Saturday.
But how do you fight in space with no air?
What are you talking about?
Forget about fighting in space.
Superman can hold his breath for a long period of time.
No, he flies into space all the time. He doesn't
He
doesn't need air.
What about the girl that he was carrying?
Yeah, I was about to mention that. Didn't he carry some chick and they were like,
Yes, he carries.
Did she hold her breath the whole fucking time?
She's really good at holding her breath.
Yeah, right?
The entire flight out and back.
Listen, on a plane, when you go 35,000 feet in the air, you can't breathe. This bitch is in space with no suit on.
Her head should just explode or something, right?
Like, in the
freeze over or something.
It would be really cold.
Comics and let's say the cartoons and things like that. When Superman does go to space and he's flying, he's wearing a suit. he generally wears a suit. It's got a big stupid S on. It's got a helmet.
No,
he's
but
got
in
a
the
Superman flight suit.
In the movies, they don't have him wearing it.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah.
You know, even in the cartoons, he didn't wear a flight suit.
Well, I watched Justice League.
Him not wearing a suit, I can deal with.
I used to watch the Justice League all the time. He would fly up into space.
Unlimited. There's the episodes like when Amazo's coming, he's in a flight suit, and Supergirl does the same thing. If he's not in his little Superman flying mobile, he's in a flight suit.
The guy that flies, he's a flying mobile.
But I mean, for space, because there's no gravity anything to push off of.
But he's an alien.
No, he doesn't fly by pushing off gravity.
Well, how does his flight
I feel
work?
like
nobody fucking knows. I never explained it.
He defies the gravity.
He defies gravity, but he's not using gravity.
Earth's
There's a
gravity.
difference.
But you've seen him when he takes off. There's always that little.
Yes,
they just show that he's flying.
Explained,
pushing off.
It's explained
off of the
by
ground.
Marlo. What's his name?
The guy.
His father. He will defy Earth's gravity.
Yeah, but that's not using gravity. That's different.
He's defying.
Defying gravity means you're.
But he's in space. There's no gravity. He's not defying anything. So
you don't have to.
Well, that's still defying gravity. The fact
let's
that
back
you're
up.
defying
Back up.
gravity.
Just because when you're on Earth, you can move around in weird, unnatural ways. You're defying gravity, but you're still moving however you move.
Right.
So when you're in space, he still moves however he moves.
Yeah, but he's defying.
He's not defying.
There's something that's allowing him to do that.
Yeah, it's not gravity.
But it's never been. It's never been explained.
His object has to have something that pushes it to make it move.
But you're okay with it not being explained, and he's not. That's the difference.
Yeah. No, well, if you want to get technical, in space there is gravity. It's all microgravity.
Yeah.
So, right, but how does
millions of miles
the space shuttle move?
The space shuttle moves by sending propellant out one direction, and then the momentum pushes.
Yeah, the momentum
and
the
it has none of that.
Kind of circular.
No, he doesn't. But that's not how he moves. That's not how he flies. He's never said that.
He
flies by farting or anything.
Are we about to discover how to fly right now?
But if
is this where this conversation is going? Are we going to figure it out?
What I'm saying is,
I hate driving.
Are we going to start defying gravity?
No. Listen, if Marco needs gravity to fly, you're still okay because in space there's still gravity.
All right, as long as it's a microgravity, I can.
There is.
I find that.
There is. Yeah.
If you think about why is Jupiter still flying around the sun? Because it's being propelled by the sun's gravity.
Yeah.
So just outside the Earth, there's still gravity. Pluto, still flying around the sun, even though it's millions of miles away, because there's microgravity related to the sun around that far away.
Yeah, because the sun, exactly.
So that gravity, there's no space.
Even the whole
there's no point in space
galaxy
where there isn't some gravity somewhere.
Gravitates around something.
It's micro.
So he's using the gravity.
If you want to say he's using gravity,
I'll buy it.
You're still okay. You're still okay.
She still can't breathe in space though without a suit.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm literally not hung up on her
for a really long time.
I have never been hung up on Superman flying anywhere.
She was a free diver as a young kid, and she learned how to hold her breath for like 5 minutes.
She was all the way up there.
It's because she's rich.
So for you people
she paid
not watching,
to have
Larry's
premium air.
Premium air.
She was all the way up there and not bothered the shit. Like all of a sudden,
she took a can of Perrier.
Yeah, right.
Spaceballs
reference.
Wearing the space balls.
I mean, the Captain Neutron there, fucking
nuclear.
Yeah,
nuclear man.
Nuclear.
I mean, he was nuclear and then nuclear and
I'm the father now.
Gene Hackman pronounced it both ways.
Like he comes in, he's like, "I want woman." What? You big Neanderthal. What do you mean you want woman? You were literally born
yesterday
from the sun.
The animation of him being born was awful.
That was
my god!
Awful.
I think
that was the budget.
That
right
was
there.
beautiful. That was
if
really
anything
a
was
work of
indicative
art.
of the budget, that was it.
They shot the wad on that little scene.
What about
that? Was a work of art. That was beautiful. I love that.
Wait. What about them actually loading the little canister of this whatever bean? It was like it's a piece of hair. Let me cut some cloth and some gelatinous.
The computer inside.
The computer inside is going to make
more.
And then when Superman collects all the missiles and throws it into the sun,
Larry,
it'll work. I swear to God, I'm really smart.
That computer wove more.
I mean,
it's so funny.
It's so funny. Texas Instruments calculator. That's all you needed.
Giant
that's
buttons.
It. There you go.
Oh God.
Yeah. Solved all the problems.
There was so much that was so
cringy.
Bad.
It really was.
It's so funny.
Cringy.
All throughout the Superman movies, just the aspect of science being a thing.
Yeah.
Like even in the third movie when they're like computers.
Yeah.
Everything they did with computers, I was like, I don't think that's how that works. All right.
None of that works.
They're like, you can find your mom's desktop, and you're like, No, not even that. Like, less than that. And then it's like, oh, yeah, now hack into the moon. And you're like, no.
You can't do that?
No.
I can hack into the
I mean, all right, let's back up. You could have done that. I did do that in the 80s.
Well,
we did hear about that. You did
told
tell
you
us.
that
That's
story.
true.
It wasn't
That
quite
is
a knock
true.
on the door.
You did, there is that.
I got a knock on the door.
There's your father. Wayo, Gigots. What happened now?
Exactly right. I was at my friend's house, thank God.
I know, right? You'd get the beating in a half.
Oh,
No,
my
you got
God.
your own house?
So in the 80s, security was not what it is now.
Yeah.
And you could easily connect to other systems and try to hack into them. And if you had any inkling of what you were doing, you could do it.
Right, yeah.
Nice,
But you're like, but I did that. Like,
I did.
Bruno was like, I got this great idea.
We don't talk about that anymore.
No, I think he had a
That's
sign
why we don't talk
papers.
about Bruno.
That's why.
But yeah, no, but Bruno's right though. Like,
And now I'm
in
a
the-
white
in the-
hat. Now I'm a white hat. Not no longer.
Although the thing is also, the guy's like the going back to Superman 3, the guy's like, what's his name? The actor.
Gene Hackman?
Gene Hackman.
Yeah.
He's like,
No, he wasn't in
he's
Superman
like,
3. Gene Hackman was in 4,
Well, he was in
2,
4.
and 1.
All
right, who's-
You're thinking of the actor
Richard Pryor?
Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
So he's like, he's got a billion different jobs he's tried and sucks at all of them. And he goes, ooh, let me try this last-ditch effort at computer
he just
science.
takes like an online
And he
course,
busts in
basically.
there. He busts in there, and they're like, it's impossible to do blah, 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 so-and-so. And the
He's like,
woman's like,
"Done."
really? And he goes over, and he's like, I did it. And he's like, how? And he goes, I don't know. I'm like, I hate you. I hope you die at the end of this
you picked
movie.
that up fast.
He's like,
I hate you.
he's like, I don't know. It
Just
just
strong feelings.
happened. I'm like,
What do you mean
die.
I don't know?
Hate's a strong word.
Yeah.
That is a very
I
strong word.
strongly dislike
That's
him.
right.
There you go. That's just
I
below
hate
hate.
everything about the way you choose to be.
But you
don't know.
but that's what you could do. Like you look at Superman 3, you could see the nosedive happening. Like it was just shitty.
Yeah.
So for the
Yeah.
owners that were behind that IP, going, you know what? You
done.
want it? You can have it. We've already made our money off of it.
They cashed out for
They
$5 million.
cashed out for $5. I mean, think about like in this day and age,
$5 million in the
$5
1980s was a fuckload of money.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
Like now it's
Yeah,
like
you can't even get like Robert Downey Jr. to like talk to you for less than, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
listen,
Yeah.
I don't think in this day and age
No,
you
you
could
get a
pay
goddamn
somebody
phone
that's
call
out
for
of
that.
Yeah, I don't think you could pay like an out of work actor $5 million to have him like show up at your
Yeah, it's not
at
gonna
your
happen.
birthday.
Yeah, no.
You know, but back then they were like, you know, we made all of our money.
Yeah, they did.
They saw the nosedive happen. They're like, fuck this, let's balance. How much you want to give me? I'll give you a bag of pucks, $2,
Case
and
of beer
lunch.
and a
And a Pez dispenser.
Done.
And a
There
handy
you
on the
go.
corner. Okay, let's go.
Let's make this happen.
A Superman Pez dispenser, by the way.
Fact. I mean, you see,
Which was very hard to make back in the day. Did you know that?
Which was a Wednesday.
No, because I've never been
The
curious.
Superman Pez dispensers were they had it because for the longest time all the Pez's were just the head. Superman's not recognized by his head. Other than the S curl, it's all he's personas in his costume.
Yeah.
So they had till they started using the bust ones.
Oh, right.
Because
Oh,
that's
yeah.
easy,
No,
right?
I
You
mean-
can see the Batman, the cowl, but most Supermans, like you have to see his Superman suit to realize, oh, that's a fucking Superman.
You just got to give
No,
him like
I
the
don't know.
chiseled
I mean,
chin
yeah,
and the
really?
superior
I mean,
look.
like, I
I
can-
watched on it. I
Like,
watched
see, like,
about it.
Okay, because I'm thinking about it. Like, if I saw a Pez, I saw just the head, the Superman head, like you said, the S curl, and then if the canister itself was like red, like the
Oh, I was thinking blue.
I'd be like
the front.
Well, there
Oh,
you
the
go. Is
front-
it red?
oh,
Is
the-
it blue?
Yeah.
Yes,
Blue
you-
Yeah,
part is just the
then
body.
you get the picture, I think.
Yeah, you have to know, but like once you take it out of like the carton and it's no longer with the backing, let's say
Yeah,
this is Superman.
Superman, right.
It's like, what the fuck is that again?
No, but yeah, no,
very hard to recognize.
You're right, yeah.
Until they started using, then they started making ones with like a bust.
With a bus, right?
Yeah.
See part of his
And
costume.
then you could,
Yeah,
then you
that's
could see
fair.
part of
Yeah,
it.
they didn't do Superman for a long time. That was
Yeah,
amazing. Anyway,
this
tangent
this
there for you
movie.
guys.
So,
Well,
go
Pez
ahead.
trivia.
So
That's true.
I'm glad that you guys thought the same way that I did about the graphics. Like, I was looking at this going, these graphics are so bad, the CGI and it's so bad. But I'm looking at myself going,
And
this
back
is
it up. Even
1987.
back in '87, they were bad.
so that's
Yes,
and
and
that's,
that's
what I'm
saying
saying.
something.
That's saying
That's saying something.
Yeah, yeah.
I-
Everybody
I-
saw them as
I-
bad.
So
I-
now in 2022, they really don't
right.
fucking
Like,
hold
I
up.
held my
It's
tongue
making
on
me
it a little
think
bit.
classic Who bad.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, like I held my tongue on it because I was like, well, it is the '80s. But then I was like, well, wait, this is '87. Ghostbusters is out. Ghostbusters had some decent graphics,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Other like
that.
'80s
Yeah.
movies that like.
And the
shit
hard
was
part of
happening?
the hard part of something
Back-
like a Ghostbusters, if you watch it now, the graphics are still hold up. The problem
Yeah, they're
being
not too
with
bad.
high definition, unless they clean it up, you can see the fuck ups. But back then, we didn't have high definition TVs and stuff like that.
Right.
You
Yeah.
really couldn't see
Yeah, you
it.
couldn't see it.
The same reason, like back in the 60s, you couldn't tell Cesar Romero didn't shave his mustache.
Right.
You couldn't see the darkness because it was so blurry.
Right.
Like,
You watch them now,
you watch it, and
you see it comes right
and you're like, oh my god, they painted over the mustache.
For the Blu-ray version, you can really see
the mustache popping through.
So that's the problem. Like, it doesn't. You can see all the blocking.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if you in Ghostbusters now, you can see where they blocked.
Yeah.
Right? Even the Star Wars, until Lucas cleaned them up 14 times. You can see the X-Wing, you can see the block that's around it that moves with the ship. It's got almost like a white tinge to it.
It's a little bit lighter.
It's the black.
It's a little bit lighter.
One of the things that they cleaned up in the Star Wars was the lightsabers. Nice. So when they fight, and when Obi-Wan was fighting Vader, there's one part that when they tilt the lightsaber down, once they cleaned it up, you could see that it was actually a rod.
Yeah.
You could see right down into the rod. Because they were fighting with the plastic rods because they needed something.
Yeah. Now they're using the LED ones.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. They're using the combat LED ones. And you can tell, too, because when they go to animate it afterwards, it animates so much better because some of it's already taken care of for them.
Right.
The lighting around the people around them, how it affects, like when you saw, and we're going back to Obi-Wan all of a sudden, but when he was like walking around with the lightsaber on, you could see the glow.
Yeah.
You never saw that before.
Which is
the light was actually affecting everything.
That's easy to animate. I'll be honest.
Sure, but now that they're actually using an LED one,
it
helps to already make that so they know where it should be.
Yeah,
right.
It's already reflecting off the ground.
So going back to the graphics of this shit movie,
and we use graphics lightly. We're using that term very lightly.
Right. I'm sorry.
I mean, it is a type of graphics. Like,
was their
the
lack thereof.
It was their effects.
I mean, everything from
portfolio
when they were flying. So when I was watching this, I'm going, look at these idiots like flying or lack thereof, just standing there.
That was so bad. When
I saw the Statue of Liberty,
he got fired from the
Statue of Liberty.
The Statue of Liberty. I'm going. That Statue of Liberty is definitely bigger than all those fucking buildings. But yet, when it's dropping,
it's tiny.
It was like so tiny. And I'm going, wait a minute.
You buy at the gift shop.
Yeah.
Literally. And I'm going, you've got to be shitting me with this. Like, this is really happening. This is what we're watching. And then,
the proportions were not thought through.
Oh, my
God,
no.
I mean, when you have a budget like that, and you're trying to, and then when you have a $37 million, and then it was cut to 17, and then
they should have just never done the fucking movie.
Well, they were trying to dig themselves out of a hole. Those guys,
they were just digging it deeper.
The guys in Canon Group, the way they would operate was they would say to some prospective movie house and say, look, we're going to make this movie, Superman, it's going to be amazing, it's going to be off the shelf, give us $20 million and you can use it. So they would give them money ahead of time, then they would shoot the film. And so they were always kind of paying
bar from Peter to Peter.
Right.
And so then they would always be like, well, we need to make money on the next one, otherwise we're not going to have money to actually pay our bills. And they would just keep going. So that's why they made it like 27 movies in a year. And then at some point, everything came crashing down.
When every movie tanks, it catches up with
everything came crashing.
Not making any of that money back.
Yeah, they lost. There was one year they had like a $90 million loss, and then another like $20 million loss. It was a fucking mess.
Yeah, it was.
Whose idea was it to have the lead press-on nails grow?
I don't know, but that was awesome.
So that was one of the things on my outside.
It was like awesomely bad.
So,
but
before he scratches,
he's
before he scratches Superman, right?
Wow! I forgot about that part. That was
they
weird.
emphasized the part that he has like they zoomed in on his nails because they were long, and I went, wait a minute, this is a killer drag queen.
And they were sharp.
They were sharp.
Wait a minute, what?
Sharp
and I'm watching this going, I don't understand. Why does he have to have long nails?
Okay.
And then they grow. And I went, oh my God, they grow.
He's got a scratch, right? That's his attack. That's his attack.
Go ahead. Scratch me.
I mean,
that's one of my favorite Looney Tunes. He's like, ha, ha, ha. He's like, go ahead, scratch me. And the puma comes out and slices him into like 14.
Yeah.
That was my favorite. So he gets
one of those
scratched.
New Superman powers?
He's sick. Okay, he's sick with the nuclear poisoning.
Sure.
And they cut out a whole thing about where he grows old because of that, the poisoning.
Yes, I remember that.
I was wondering that.
I remember the cut. Like, there's a cut where you can see that.
Yeah.
And they cut it out. So my problem is, and we talked about this the other day, is that he's got the green crystal again. He threw it in the first one. It gets lost and blown up. That was he had one green crystal in his ship.
Yeah, he threw it away,
You see his father putting that one crystal in the ship.
Yeah.
Now he's got another one that's in there? Because the first one's gone.
I have one question for you. Are you expecting this to have continuity?
Yes!
At least a little bit.
If it says Superman 4,
did I not explain to you the two guys running the whole show
it's Superman
and what they were trying to do?
It's Superman 4.
And that they could give a shit less about the actual IP, and they were just worried about making money.
Wait a minute, so they could give a shit. Just a little less.
Right, they couldn't have given it. Yeah, you're right. I should.
So they have the green crystal again that saves him.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest with you, always bugged me that it was green because that's kryptonite.
Kryptonite kills him,
created him. It creates Superman, not kills him.
Just because it's green doesn't mean he has to be kryptonite.
No, I get it, but make it a different color.
Yeah. They should have chosen something else.
Blue or something, you know?
Red,
Blue's a nice color to use.
Well,
Superman's blue.
He is blue.
So there's multiple colors of kryptonite, and they all do different things to Superman. But green is obviously the most well-known.
Green's the bad one.
No, there's worse, but there's more well-known. That's the most well-known color. And that's the one you went with.
So,
you know what I'm saying? Make it a different color crystal.
No, you're right about that.
I've always had a question, though, about the whole kryptonite thing.
It wasn't originally incepted in the original version of Superman. It didn't come to the radio show.
Okay, because the reason why I'm wondering that is, where's Superman from?
Krypton.
Where does kryptonite come from?
Krypton.
And it's bad for him?
Yes.
It just takes
radiation.
It takes
when
away
it
his
blew
powers.
up, it caused radiation to the planets, to the rock, to the minerals.
Okay,
basically, the explosion of the planet created the minerals to get radiated, and that's
that actually always kind of bugged me because I never actually really knew.
And obviously, some hit Earth, just like he predicted. Eventually, how it got? He was on a rocket ship, and the planet exploded. It probably was a pretty good explosion. It got here pretty fucking quick.
Okay,
like some of that shit got here really quick.
Like I guess I've always wondered. I've always wondered that. But then when I think of it, there's like nobody around me that I could go, hey, I have a question for you.
Although,
that's always
I'm going to
been
back
on my
this
mind,
up.
too.
The explosion of a planet, per se, doesn't necessarily mean something's going to get irradiated to become like kryptonite.
Well, maybe it's just made of...
Right,
so
but
if you want to radiate something, you usually need a star to explode.
You're absolutely right. But at some point, it was the star that caused the planet to explode. And they have a red sun.
It's an easy write-off.
They have a red sun. So
maybe it's a sun
affected
that's
the planet.
different.
And the red sun's energy... mixed with it in that.
Maybe the core is made of radiation.
I don't know the story of kryptonite, so you could be right. I'm just
the red sun takes away his powers.
Yeah.
So that could be the explanation that it got into the mineral, and that's what happened.
Okay, thank you.
And you have blue kryptonite and gold kryptonite.
I know about red kryptonite.
Red kryptonite turns him
that
into...
turns him evil.
Yeah, I think that...
Although that was also green in the other one.
One of them strips his powers, but he doesn't die.
There's the pink one.
There's a pink one?
Yeah. It's like this.
That's for isn't that for breast cancer awareness?
That's mean, bro.
Don't say it.
Don't say it.
Okay, so
that was with that one. Thank God that's where we went.
No. I actually thought he was going to go, wow, the boys kind of episode.
Yeah.
No, so, all right, so I'm
that's
glad
what is
that
the 14th reference to the boys?
Can't wait to do that one. So I'm glad that you explained the whole kryptonite thing, because that was always, again, something that in my head I'm like, wait, he's Kryptonian. He comes from Krypton. Kryptonite comes... Why does kryptonite fucking hurt this guy? Yeah. Like, it shouldn't.
And I explained it, but I'm sure there are probably people on the internet just standing on the chairs right now.
Right.
That's not exactly how it works.
I mean,
it's probably a more accurate description.
Yeah, I gave you like the brief Raiders Digest version of what...
You gave me the Cliff Notes. I'm okay with that. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. We can move on. Yeah.
But have you read the internet? That's not how it works, asshole.
The interwebs?
You're going to hear it for sure.
We're going to get some comments.
That's fine.
Freaking about it.
Please direct your comments to We Don't Care. Entertainment Rant.
How does Lois... So he goes off... Clark goes off the roof. And she's like, oh my God, Clark, what are you doing? Oh my God, Clark, what are you doing? Oh my God, Clark, what are you doing? And then all of a sudden, they're flying and he's Superman. And she's like, oh, hey, what's up, bud? And I went, wait a minute.
I actually thought that one scene was probably the only good scene because I thought that was really funny. He's like, I'm sorry, Lois, I just need to get some air. And she's like, okay, no, that's fine. And he starts stepping out. And then he's like, Wait, Clark, things aren't that bad. Wait, hold on.
So she goes off.
Mr. Van Meter.
Just jumps off the ledge. I thought that was actually really funny.
He jumps off with him. And
that was it.
Together. I don't know about you, but if you don't know that Clark is Superman, aren't you freaking the fuck out?
Yeah, she was freaking out.
She freaked out for like 2 seconds. Then it was like all happy. She was like, oh, hey. Like, I'd be like, oh my God.
Again, that's why.
Oh my God. Clark, you're Superman.
That's what I'm talking about.
That should have been the whole time. That's exactly
what we're talking about. It's like a light goes off. Like, oh,
I should have known that.
She'll be like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, it's Superman.
Well, he's a hunk. He's a hunk.
Damn, like what happened in the past 5 seconds?
Superman is a legit snack.
He's the bow
According to her.
The bow hunk.
Right. But I mean, you would figure that she'd be freaking out the whole time.
Like anyone
Everybody
else
knows when you see somebody that's attractive.
Did she give him that
else.
I should have known all along
that's
speech?
just Lois.
I feel like I knew.
That's just Lois.
I feel like she gave him that sort of I feel like I knew all along speech.
Yeah. Yes, that was that one. Yeah.
Doesn't she do that? I kind of
she was
all
like,
the time.
oh yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
How did I forget? But she didn't question how she forgot about that.
And the glasses disguised as bullshit. So.
Do you think she went home? She's like, I can't fucking believe I fell for the glasses trick.
The fact that she never gets
and the glasses are basically right here.
So basically, this is the second or third time he's done it. Superman's an asshole.
I was about to say,
he just keeps teasing her,
he
I'm gonna make you know, I'll make you forget. I'm gonna make you know,
she never gets pissed off. The fact that
he's just playing with it the whole time,
amnesthetizing her.
Yeah, over and over again.
What the hell?
Good Lord!
And he's like, thanks for the quick talk.
Stop roofing Lois.
I'm like, what the hell?
He does the Men in Black trick.
He's doing the super roofie. Stop super roofing Lois. Knock it up.
I'm like, damn, that's
cool.
like the second time.
Cool, dude.
Quit it.
That is not cool.
Yeah, it's not cool.
That's drugging someone. Quit it.
Over and over again.
Goddamn, toxic Superman.
That's right.
That's called manipulation.
Right? and let's not forget.
And he's gaslighting her. No, I'm not Superman.
That's right. Ooh.
You're crazy.
Gaslight the shit out of her.
Making her think she's crazy.
Making her think she's crazy. God damn it, Superman's goddamn.
You must be seeing things again.
And not only, so apparently there's always a phone booth near him. Okay, we get that.
That's fine.
Well, no.
In the
'80s, there was a phone booth on every corner.
Was.
Yeah.
I do know this.
But at one time we changed in a car.
So I was just going to get to the car part. They're at the Penthouse Hotel, wherever the hell Lois lives. Oh, yeah, that was Lois's house. The apartment that they're having the quote-unquote double date.
Was it Lois's?
Yeah,
because she was cooking.
it was Lois's place.
Yeah, because she was cooking, and remember, he was like, and he heats up the duck.
Okay, you're probably right. It was her or Lacey's.
What did he do exactly?
Yes.
Listen, those are better sound effects than they have.
I
think they'd like to use your sound effects in the movie.
Fair enough. For $5 million. So he gets pushed out because he's a klutz and he's a dumpski. And the luggage car.
Term, by the way,
and he's like, he goes into one side of the limo as Clark Kent and comes out of the limo as Superman.
Nobody notices
that happened.
Paying attention.
Where's the chauffeur in the limo? How are the limo doors unlocked?
He's looking at his phone.
You're trying to interject reality to this show?
And how does... Wait a minute.
Let me ask you the same thing I asked Marco. Are you looking for continuity and logic in this movie?
A little bit, because where's the chauffeur going, hey, buddy, get out of my car?
How do you
not know somebody just gets in your back seat and then leaves, and it's, oh my God, it's
super
fucking
fast.
super
fast.
Yeah, I mean, it was super fast.
Yeah, you just gotta trust that it's like mega fast. Blink and you'll miss it fast, except the couple more blinks. Just blink for like a little bit longer than normal. Like a little bit longer than normal.
Maybe the chauffeur was tired and his eyes just dozed off for a second.
Which is really what you want with your driver.
And that was another 15 minutes of movie I could have done without. They could have cut this movie down to like 20 minutes and be done.
Let's be serious. You could have done without this movie entirely. Like, this was a terrible movie, right?
Bad movie,
It felt like a bunch of random scenes sewn together.
Yeah.
Like the whole time, I'm like,
yes.
What does this have to do with what they're doing now?
That's a consequence of cutting out 45 minutes where they lose a whole bunch of story.
Yeah, it just felt like a bunch of clips.
Here's what I would have loved. Credits, right? Opening credits. No nuclear. No. We wanted to make a Superman movie, but we didn't. Go to the box office.
You're welcome.
Go to the box office. Get your money back at the end.
Roll it.
Watch it if you dare.
That was a 5-minute trip to the movie theater.
Yes.
Thank you. I'm out.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'll have extra time for the rest of my day.
Well, one of my other questions. So he's got these 3 bad guys, right? That he's in cahoots with. This is Lex Luthor, I'm saying.
Yeah.
So he's at the table. He's like,
Porkins is there. Yeah.
You run this. You run that. You run this. Mwahaha. We're gonna. I don't really know what did they have to do with the creation of the
money. They funded it.
Those guys funded the money.
They funded. They were like the arms dealers.
Yeah, he was like, hey,
they're the arms dealers.
I know we threw away all the nukes,
fact that Lex was stopping the arms from him getting rid of
So wait a minute. So
they had the money to fund it so that Lex would make more money for them.
To fund what?
to basically fund Lex
to
his
stop
project
Superman from getting rid of all the nukes.
So they could sell more arms.
So they gave Lex money so he could create this blob.
Yes, to create this nuclear man who we said was going to basically kill Superman, take him out of the equation. So now you guys can go sell more nuclear weapons. You'll have unlimited stopping Superman from throwing them all.
Because I was just trying to figure it out. I'm like,
which
there was some
big
semblance
net?
of something.
It's the long con.
Right.
And that net was bullshit. That net of nukes was
the net of nukes.
Oh my god! When I saw that he was just bunching them together, I was like,
there's a lot more than 25 in there.
I was like,
just hurls
you can't just put them together like that. It's
gonna pop. I mean, that would work.
I don't have any problem.
I don't know that you would
do you know how close that is to the
it wouldn't
atmosphere?
cause giant explosions.
I wouldn't have any problem with that.
Yeah.
My question is, would they make it all the way, or would they explode before they hit the sun?
They don't explode like that.
They explode with impact.
No,
it's an impact issue. But
it's not. It's not.
So how do they explode?
They explode with a detonator that implodes, that causes all of the atoms inside to push together, that then releases the real energy that explodes.
This is how much I know about nuclear power, by the way.
And so
I'm getting a little lesson
unless those detonators cause any sort of implosion by flying into the sun, there would be no nuclear explosion.
Right.
So you could just hold one and shake it
So that's
around.
what I mean. They probably wouldn't explode.
But they did.
We threw it into the sun because the sun's wicked hot, so it just melted.
Physics.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So my thing is like the gravity and heat from the sun before it even gets to the sun
Would just pull it in.
it didn't cause any of that before it even gets there.
No,
because obviously you're going to feel the heat of the sun well before you actually hit the surface.
And the metal on the outside, it all would have melted well beyond. I mean, the surface temperature of the sun is around 10,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
And what's the gravity? Wouldn't it have crushed everything before, like, literally crumpled it all?
No, it doesn't work. It would just suck you in.
If let's say the Earth didn't fry you, if you stood on it, you would just crumble.
Say that again.
The gravity of the sun.
Okay.
Let's say it didn't fry you, right?
Yeah, you would
just implode the gravity. Because you're being
because of the gravity. Okay,
if you theoretically could stand on the sun, you would immediately just crunch.
If you were on a planet the size of the sun,
that has that kind of gravity,
has that kind of gravity,
no fire,
you would not be. You would get crumpled.
That's what I'm saying.
Right away.
There would be too much gravity for you to be. Yeah.
Oh.
Right.
You have zero consciousness.
Did you just find a hole in this movie?
We found one. Right.
Marco was asking why they exploded. And I'm saying
why they didn't explode sooner.
They probably would not have exploded, is what I'm saying.
There's a lot of things that shouldn't have happened.
So now one of my final my final easy out points of this movie was buying back the planet. Like this major tycoon he's like, I went to the bank, I schmoozed him.
I had an issue with that too.
I got my newspaper back. Fuck off. Like,
oh yeah.
Really? Like, no lawyers involved at all. Like,
no,
this guy was coming
I convinced the bank
do that.
That's the way it works.
Apparently.
So
it's big business, Marco. You wouldn't understand, Marco.
But before,
I've not been in corporate boardrooms that often.
But before he says how he got it back, right? He starts with, I don't know about you, but I know a little bit about business. I was like, oh, he found a loophole in the contract or something. That's what I was expecting.
Yeah.
When he was just like,
I smoothed the bank.
I gave the bank a high five, and they were like, we got you, bro.
I think he bad boys.
I'm like, are you out of your fucking mind?
I think he bad boys the goddamn bankers. That's what I think.
And the guy that had millions and millions and millions of dollars was like, you won't see the end of me. What?
And he just goes away. He just goes away. It's not like he did something bad and they were able to arrest him and now he's in prison, so he obviously can't fight back. He's like, I guess you're right. I took this one on the chin. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out, bitches. I'm out. I'm going to lose all that money, and I don't care.
I'm out.
So bad.
You got to wrap the movie.
Rough.
You got to wrap the movie at some point.
And that's how they wrapped it. And
after the opening credits.
They wrapped that movie the same way.
To this bullshit.
They wrapped that movie the same way that they opened it. Like shit.
Like crap. It was bad. Oh man.
There's a thing on TikTok right now where the people do comparisons and they're like, this is a work of art. This is bullshit.
That's right.
And so you could do that with Superman 1 and 4.
That's right.
This was a work of art. This is bullshit.
I could actually probably literally do that with a pile of bullshits.
Call it a work of art.
And have this next one go, this is not. I mean.
Yeah.
Really. It's so beginning to end.
Sucks.
There's just
there's no good qualities of it.
I mean, yeah.
There really isn't.
No. It's entertaining in that you could drink to it and have a good time, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like if you were smashed, my brother and I used to do this. We'd be like,
are you saying we got to drink till it's good?
Hey, why don't we do an episode like that? We'd be the first. We'd be the first to do a drink till it's good, I bet.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Oh, we should do that.
Damn, I'm glad you thought of that, Marco.
Yeah, I'm glad I did too. Look at that.
Very original.
Came with that one
Very
off
nice.
the cuff. I like that.
We should use
Awesome. That was fun. Trademark Entertainment Rants.
TM.
Oh, hit you with the trademark. Oh my god, that's great.
I think we got to trademark that bad boy.
We have a new direction for the show.
You know what?
This is it.
Let's do only that.
Let's only do that.
Only
I
do
can
that?
see
I
it
could do
now.
that.
Yeah.
It's something glorious.
What should we talk about next? Jaws 3?
Let's do Jaws 3.
Let's
Or
do
He-Man, Master of the Universe?
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that.
Let's do He-Man.
Let's do He-Man. All right, gang.
He-Man it is.
Well, thank you guys. That was fun. Thank you, Mila.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you.
And thank you, Bruno.
Nuclear Man.
Catchphrase.
Catchphrase.
All right, everybody. We are Entertainment Rants at entertainmentrants.com. Check us online at our social media at Entertainment Rants. Drop us a line at engageentertainmentrants.com. We thank you guys for listening. Hopefully you guys will like the new version of the show. And we'll see you online. Everybody, let's rant.
Let's rant.